South Africa's future. I just want to respond to quite a few questions that I'm picking up on my vlog from people from the far left and on the far right in terms of what I'm saying in my vlog. But it really boils down to people must look at the whole video series to understand the points and the message I'm trying to get out there. It's very important, you know, that people are assuming I'm either on this position on the right, or I'm on this position on the left, or I'm just being pacifist and not really standing back and trying to be a peacemaker and everything else. Well, I'm not trying to cause issues. I am trying to create a peaceful process in what I'm saying, because I believe it's the only way forward in South Africa. You're not going to build a nation through hatred of one race or the other race, and that's fact. You know, history has already taught many people around the world this already. And you know, as much as I can understand how some people are feeling in South Africa about their countrymen's colour on the far right or on the far left, it's got to really be buried. It's not going to. Nothing will be achieved from either side on that argument. You know, you don't build a nation through racial hatred anywhere in the world. That is a fact. You're not going to do that. And it doesn't matter where you sit or what religion you are or what colour you are. It's not going to work that way. To answer question, I mean, I get called all sorts of names like pig face and white scum and quite a few things, and it goes off me like water off a duck's back, quite honestly. I appreciate and I understand it's very difficult for some people living in South Africa at the moment, and there is genuine fear for the future, what is going to happen, and I can really understand and appreciate that. But it's really about, and I had a very positive, because I get positive comments coming through on my vlog as well, and I think it's important that people sit and read these, because they're coming from South Africa in most cases. There are a few coming from the UK or from the United States, but most are coming from people who live in South Africa. And you know, there are very positive comments coming through as well, like there's one person, I'm not going to mention names, I'll let people go and read these, but one person actually talks about, you know, the nation should walk, you know, colours side by side against the far left and against the far right to make it go away, to make it go quiet. You know, don't let that become a virus that creeps into society and destroy people's mindsets, because it doesn't help. And I think, I think there's a sensible. What I'm encouraged by the fact that there is a sensible thinking process by what I hope is the majority of the people in South Africa, black and white, on where the country needs to go. And I think by hearing and reading a lot of that, it encourages me. I have an interest in South Africa because I care about the people there. I care about black people there. I care about white people there. And that won't change. Nothing will change for me on that front. But what is important is all this hatred for racial discrimination and things that took place in the past. I condemn apartheid, but I was accused of, although I condemned apartheid, and I did so because I didn't give a comment as when it was active, what my thoughts on it then, and therefore I must have supported it, which is absolute rubbish. You know, people talk absolute nonsense. I mean, apartheid started before I was born, in respect, and people, as I've mentioned in some of my videos, people and their values back in the centuries gone by were different. People were different. People looked at the world differently. They all were different. But people did horrible things to other people. Forget about colours of skin. People did some terrible things on other people. Look what the Nazis did to the Jews in Europe very recently, as well. Shocking things. And I could go around the whole world and talk about things which shouldn't have happened. But they happened. But they don't get resolved by continuing the fight of hatred, and they just, one's got to just build on the future. But the important thing is, by building a future that people can prosper together. That's important. It's not about going back to the past. In any one society that we live in, it's all about learning from the past and how we make it future. And look, Nelson Mandela, he had it absolute right when he came out of prison, and how he analysed the whole scenario and how he wanted to take the country forward when he was active, was 100% the right approach. It's been very disappointing on how the sort of next two presidents of South Africa went with the country. Zuma and Thabo Mbeki both failed dismally, as I've said before in my previous vlogs. But I do really have a very strong confidence and faith in Cyril Ramaphosa. I think he understands the needs of South Africans as a whole. He knows what South Africa needs in every aspect to build it as a country with prosperity for all people. And I think his problem is he's obviously got to deal with all the elements on the far left and on the far right. And he needs support of sensible people in the country, black and white, to make South Africa a strong country. I have a lot of confidence in Cyril Ramaphosa. I think he's well educated. He understands what people are looking for on the ground. He understands commerce. He's really been enlightened by lots of things over the last 3 decades, and I think he can do the job. I think he's a great person to have as the leader of South Africa, and I hope he gets the support from his people of South Africa in making South Africa a great country of the future. I'm not going to change my view. I mean, I don't think a country can be built on racial hatred. It can't be built on racial hatred. It'll just die if that's the case. And there are many countries in Africa that have died with a racial hatred of tribal differences and various other things, that are still trying to have a crust of bread in every mouth. And it's not the route forward for South Africa. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.